Good morning, everybody! Good morning! It's the guy who never uploads enough videos, and welcome back to another video. Today, as you can see by my very real and very anime footage in the background, yes, we will be talking about the Alola League, which will be approaching soon in the Sun and Moon anime. Now, yes, I know, I haven't talked about the anime in a long time, and I stopped doing reviews a little over a year ago. That's because a certain company doesn't really know what fair use is, but that is a topic for another time. And yes, I have been keeping up with the Sun and Moon anime. Well, mostly. I ended up skipping a few of the stinkier filler episodes recently just because, quite honestly, I haven't found them as entertaining as the filler earlier in the series, but for the most part, I'm pretty caught up. Despite that though, there's very little I can say will certainly happen during this league. All we know is that this league is happening on the Aether Island and is open for anybody in the Alola region to join. That's right, everyone is here. Part of me is a little apprehensive to this idea because it makes me wonder what the whole point of the island trials were besides collecting Z crystals, but the other part of me really likes this because it opens the door for more prominent characters than ever before to compete, including most of, if not all of, Ash's classmates and Team Rocket. The Sun and Moon series also has a very strong episode-to-episode continuity going for it, so I wouldn't be surprised if we saw some of the more recurring characters from the series competing as well, such as that dude from the Charjabug race, or Viren, the evil businessman who wanted to take over Kiawe's farm. I think it would be very cool to see Sophocles and Kiawe battle against those two at some point in the league since they have the greatest connections to them. It's also heavily implied that Guzma, and yes, I believe that is how you pronounce his name now since he has appeared in the anime, will either compete in the league or will be attempting to destroy it much like Team Flare did in Kalos. Personally, I hope he competes because recycling the same plot from X, Y, and Z sounds like a stinky thing to do, and I think there's a lot of potential in seeing how an evil team leader would battle in an officially sanctioned Pokemon League. I could see a battle late in the tournament happening between Ash and Guzma that maybe changes Guzma's perception and makes him a bit more of a nice guy like he turns at the end of the Sun and Moon games. I also think them battling again in general would be very cool because Guzma in the anime is very much a corrupted reflection of Ash, who decided to give up on his dreams of becoming a Pokemon master rather than trying over and over and over again like Ash does every time he loses. So maybe that would make for a very good quarterfinals or semifinals match in the league. It's also worth noting that Guzma refuses to use a Z-ring in the anime, so maybe there could be some neat mental struggle between them not using their full power for most of the match that eventually boils over, like Deku versus Todoroki in My Hero Academia, except worse because this is Pokemon and not My Hero Academia, because that show actually has a consistent writing for the most part. Earlier in the tournament, though, I'd really like to see Ash versus Kiawe. I think Kiawe is debatably Ash's closest friend in the Sun and Moon series. Battles between them are teased every few episodes, but most of the time, we really only end up with snippets of them. I think it would make for a really good battle, especially since Kiawe already has a team of 3 relatively well-developed Pokemon, whereas Ash's other classmates do not. We would probably just see Pikachu, Torracat, and Lycanroc against Turtonator, Alolan Marowak, and Charizard, which just sends chills down my spine. Lots of opportunities for the animation to shine, since we've already seen all those Pokemon perform some pretty cool things in the past. Also, while we're on the topic of Pokemon teams, even with Sun and Moon's strong continuity, I don't expect Ash to whip out any reserves from Oak's lab, at least not in the first few rounds. It would be really cool if he did, because I do enjoy seeing Ash's old Pokemon as opposed to the same 5 that he always uses, and he hasn't used any reserves since the Sinnoh League, but I don't know, I'm not really feeling it. People have also speculated that if Ash advances to the 6v6 rounds, that either Solgaleo or Poipole will probably return to his team, both of which I'm not too crazy about. I don't really want to see Ash tear through the league with a legendary Pokemon, nor do I want some forced Naganadel evolution, or however you pronounce that Pokemon's name. I know somebody is already typing out every single syllable in the comments, even though that's probably what's going to happen anyway. In short, I'd really like to see Ash's old Pokemon, but I don't think it's happening. And if it is happening, they're going to use Ash's Season 1 Pokemon to boost their ratings some more. You can quote me on that. It's just gonna be Charizard or Bulbasaur for the millionth time. Anyway, let's get back into some more spicy predictions. I do think we will see Ash versus the Masked Royal, aka Professor Kukui. Spoilers in case you aren't a big-brained genius and weren't able to deduce his secret identity. They're already teasing that battle in their newest opening. I think it would be great to see Ash having a battle against the closest thing that he has to a father figure. Obviously he'll win though, because I think it would be pretty scummy of Kukui to enter his own league just to beat his own child. Maybe we'll see Torracat evolve during this fight as well. I also think that Ash will fight Gladion in this league, and I think he actually might win. I can't see Ash losing to the edgy main rival 2 series in a row. You never know, Sylvali could have that plot armor that rivals that of Alon's absurdly defensive Mega Charizard, but I think we're going back to the more formulaic approach where Ash loses against his rival for the entire series, and then miraculously pulls a victory out of his hat during the league. And here's my final big prediction, and probably my most controversial one. Ash is losing again. Wow, shocker, I know, but here's the real kicker. I think it's going to be to Hau. I don't know if it'll be in the finals or the semifinals, but I just have a really strong feeling about this. Spoiler alert, but Hau is the final battle in Pokemon Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon. Ash always loses to that one rival introduced really late in the series, sometimes criminally late like Tobias and Sinnoh, and just going off of that, I think that Hau is going to be your Alola League champion. Many people will probably disagree with me, but I think it's a much less cliche idea than Ash losing to Gladion and Gladion becoming champion. Again, I can't see the edgy, overpowered rival pulling it off twice in a row. I think that this time, the underdog, Hau, will be pulling it off. I'm sorry if you wanted me to be super optimistic and say Ash is definitely winning this time, just you wait, but I'd rather go out on a limb and say that Hau is the big winner, mostly just because nobody else expects him to do it. And now that most of the predictions are out of the way, let's get into some other hopes that I have. First and foremost, if Ash is gonna lose, which he probably will, let it be a respectable loss. Don't bring in some new character at the last minute, don't introduce some guy with 6 legendaries again, don't let a water type lose to a fire type, just give Ash a nice, respectable loss for once against someone who it feels earned against. Of course, my ultimate hope is that he wins the whole thing, but I'm trying to be realistic here. Also, I hope that they don't get too carried away with the comedy, like maybe have one comic relief battle with some side characters, but don't just ham-fist it into every battle. If I'm being honest, I would probably get a good chuckle out of Jesse entering the league and then curb stomping everybody with Beware, but don't make a hype battle like Ash vs. Gladion into a stand-up comedy routine. Sun and Moon has already done a pretty alright job with this in the past few battles though, like Ash vs. Misty and Ash vs. Nanu, where they knew not to include any comedy. So I'm just hoping that they don't drop the ball here. And for the love of God, do not rush this one as badly as the Unova or Kalos League. Since we have so many major characters entering, I don't want them to skip to the semifinals again so we can watch Ash lose. Let everyone get some nice, fleshed out screen time. I don't mind if they have to cut corners in the animation in a few of the earlier battles, but just give everyone their fair share. Anyway, that wraps up my hopes and predictions for the Alola League. I'm probably not going to make a follow-up video because covering Pokemon anime is a bit riskier than I would prefer nowadays, so if you want to see my thoughts, then you should probably follow me on Twitter at JPRPizza98. That's a pretty good plug right there, you can't be mad at that. Also, I lost a money match in Smash Brothers to my friend Don V the Hermit, and I promised that I would shout him out on my YouTube channel, so be sure to check out his channel for more quality videos. And as always, if you enjoyed, then be sure to leave a like and subscribe for more. I'll see you guys next time.